morning team, it's Monday and it is day one of Final Book Support Group week. It's currently 9:10. I've been up since 5 AM. Don't with me because I cannot with myself. I just need to finish editing last week's reading vlog and then I am done for the week with filming, editing, all of that good stuff, which is fantastic because it's already done and I feel like I'm back on top of my shit again, which is lovely indeed. If I could pre-film for next week's videos, I would, but I can't because this vlog is going to be one of them and then my wrap-up will be another, which obviously I have to wait till the end of July to even start. So it is what it is. I already do have one of my August videos pre-filmed. There is another one that I could do, but I need to do a little bit of graphics work before that. So maybe I'll get started on that. I don't know. But this week is Final Book Support Group starting today. I have Patreon sprint starting at 9:30 and then at 2:30 I have public sprint starting and I'll probably go until around 7, 7:30 when Andy's on his way home. So that I can spend the evening with him, and obviously I will have been working since 6 o'clock this morning, so it will be a full 13-hour day for me, which is a very long time for me to be working. So that's my intention today. Tomorrow I have work, I'll be going to my brother's, and then I've got sprint in the evening from 4 PM. Wednesday our new bed comes, so we will be waiting on that to come and then building the new bed, which I'm very excited about and I cannot fucking wait, and I think Andy's the same. So we'll be having a day of waiting for the new bed and building that, which is exciting. Thursday he's gonna go and see his dad, take his niece as well, and I'm either gonna go with him or work. I may just let them go and have some family time and I might work, go to my brother's. Because today would have been a day at my brother's, but they're coming back from their little trip for Tara's birthday, so it's gonna have to be a Thursday or Friday, and then depending on whether or not I go to Andy's dad's or work on Thursday, I may then work Friday if I go to Andy's dad's with him. We'll see what happens, but if not, then I'll have Friday at home. Maybe it's like a day off with Andy because he'll be off work. Saturday, Sunday, both very heavy reading days with sprints included for Final Book Support Group. So that's my week in general, just to give you a rundown. As far as reading is concerned, I don't have a ridiculously set TBR, but there's a few books that I'm interested in getting to, so I will run through them with you very quickly. Just bear in mind, if you've seen last week's reading vlog, just bear in mind that at the moment my head is a little bit scattered and I am incredibly chaotic and messy with my reading right now. I'm a little bit on and off with mood reading and needing some dedicated guidance with my reading. So this could change, but I'll only very quickly run through with you what I've got plans for, and then let you know what it is that I'm picking up straight away. I am still partway through Crucible of Chaos by Sebastian D. Castell. I'm going to make a decision this week on whether or not I'm going to put this down for the time being, or whether I'm going to try and continue on with it and get through it. It's only because I'm still in like a high epic fantasy slump at the moment, and although I am enjoying this, I feel like my mood could affect my rating on this and how I end up enjoying it as a whole. So I don't want to ruin the book with my mood, and it will be better all round if I put this down and potentially come back to it at a later date. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted on what I decide to do with that, just so you're up to date, because I did start it in last week's reading vlog. So just wanted to mention that, and then this is kind of what I've got on my radar, which isn't a lot compared to what I usually have planned for Final Book Support Group. As I say, I could deviate from this entirely, I could add to this, I could take away from it and not get through as much as I think I'm going to. So I do have Cat Gamer Volume 4. I actually might start off with this for a quick win. This was put on my TBR by Louis, one of my patrons. He put it in my Patreon pot and I did pull it, so I'm excited to continue on with this one. Volume 5 should be on its way to me. If you saw my haul, you will know that Books Please accidentally sent me The Catcher in the Rye instead of Cat Gamer Volume 5. I they sound similar, I suppose. Anyway, I emailed them. They are sending me a copy of Cat Gamer Volume 5. So shout out to them for sorting that out so quickly as well. They got back to me same day, which is fantastic. So yeah, Cat Gamer Volume 4. I might start off with this one just to give myself a quick win. Then I also have Business Casual by BK Borison. I just finished Mixed Signals this morning. So this is book 4 in the Love Light Farm series, and it is the final book in the series. So I would like to get to this one. I do have an arc as well. It's now come out officially, but it came out the 18th, I think it was. So I would like to get to it pretty quickly. So I do have that one. Then we've got Kate by Madison. No, then every single time. Then we've got Kate by Tate James, the 4th and final book in the Madison Kate series. This has ended up being put on this TBR for reasons which you will find out in my August TBR. There's been a knock-on effect with something that I've ended up putting on my TBR in August that I had no control over. That means that I now need to get to this. So I would like to wrap this series up. It's been on my TBR once or twice, I think, for Final Book Support Group, as has Shadowlands by Stacey Marie Brown, which could be another option this week. But I'm not fully mentioning, well, I just did, but I'm not fully mentioning it as saying I'm going to commit to it, because both of them are chunky books. So I'm just trying to reduce my stress, honestly. The less books I put on here, the better, I think, visually. Albeit it's good to know that I have other options if later on in the week, you know, I've actually done really well with my reading for whatever reason and I want to pick up more. And then finally, Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I would really like to wrap this duology up and get it finished because it's been a while since I picked up Divine Rivals. So I think I'm actually going to start off with Ruthless Vows. This one does follow Iris and also Roman, and in the first one, they're rivals at work and they both work for the same paper and they just don't seem to get on. They bicker a lot. Iris's brother is away at the war. He's gone off to war, and this war isn't a normal war. I think it's set around World War I or World War II, I can't remember, but there are other players in the game with this war. I think it's monsters, if I remember correctly, and she's writing letters to her brother, but for some reason she's getting no correspondence back. And one day Roman ends up finding one of her letters and he ends up replying back to her, and I don't think she knows straight off the bat that he's replying back to her. And then they end up finding themselves on the front line, and things become a little bit haywire, and now we're continuing on from that. I can't tell you anything about this one because it will spoil exactly what happens at the end of Divine Rivals, because a huge thing happens at the end of Divine Rivals. So I can't tell you anything about this one other than my thoughts on the book itself. So I think I gave Divine Rivals 4 stars, if I remember correctly. Did I read that this year? Let's have a quick look. I read it October to November last year, and it took me over a month to read. So I gave it 4.5 stars, so I did enjoy it, but it took me over a month to read. So it has been very much so a hot minute since I read this one, coming up a year. So yeah, I'm excited about picking this one up, and this will be the first one that I go for. So I'm going to go because I've got sprint starting in 10 minutes and I need to let my patrons know. Well, remind them. They know, but I remind them. So I will start off with Cat Gamer Volume 4 and then go straight into Ruthless Vows. I'll probably wait until I'm like 50 to 100 pages into Ruthless Vows, come give you an update, my full thoughts on this and what I'm thinking of this to start off with. And then we'll see where the rest of the week takes us. I may add some more manga in this week just to give myself some more quick wins as well. I'm really hoping I might be able to get a 5-star this week as well, albeit I'm not 100% confident. Like, maybe Business Casual can, but this series so far hasn't been going too great for me. Love Light Farms was 5 stars, In the Weeds was 4.5, Mixed Signals was 3.5, so it's been going downhill quite rapidly, which I'm really sad about. So I'm kind of hoping Business Casual can bring it back for me, especially with the fall autumn spooky season vibes, maybe, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a 5-star read. I haven't had one in well over a month and a half now, so it would be really nice to get a 5-star read. I'm not 100% confident with this TBR. Cat game I might do though. But again, that would be another manga / graphic novel that's given me a 5-star read, which is all that's given me a 5-star read in the last 2.5 months. So that's how that's going. But yeah, so I will check back in with you when I've started Ruthless Vows.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, well, you know.
It's 2:10 in the afternoon, still on Monday. I told you it was Friday then. Blatant lie. I have all my videos filmed, edited, uploaded, scheduled, ready to go, and I have finished patron sprints. So public sprints will be starting in 15 minutes, and I finished 2 books already. So what happened was I read Cat Gamer Volume 4. While I was reading Cat Gamer Volume 4, Cat Gamer Volume 5 was delivered. So I just made the decision to move on to this one as well, because I might as well get up to date. That's the whole point. Get up to date with the series. Volume 6 is coming out, but it's not out yet. So I'm now up to date with this series, which is great news. Adorable, obsessed. Rico ends up getting a second cat, and the kitten is so bloody cute. It's one of those short cats, you know, it's got little legs. And she's adorable, absolutely stunning. I am obsessed with how cute she is. Look at her. Oh my god. I love her, she's so cute. And then obviously we continue on with the pair of them. So adorable, 5 stars for both of these. This series never lets me down, and it's the kind of series that makes me want to get a cat. I'm not really, I do enjoy cats. I'm not particularly a cat person, I'm way more of a dog person. And my dad is allergic to cats, and I think the boys will be allergic to cats as well, because my brother's got horrific allergies. So yeah, I couldn't have a cat, but this series makes me want to have a cat. It's so cute. So 5 stars for both of those, and it does mean I'm 2 books down for the readathon, which is great. Continuation stations, but I'm now up to date with the series, so good news. And then I did get started on Ruthless Vows, as I said I was going to do, by Rebecca Ross. I'm up to part 2 so far, which is around page 97. Yeah, 97. It's hard to say what I want to say without spoiling what's happening here, but okay, so there's a certain thing that's happened that means that our characters are now separated for reasons. I'm not going to get into what's gone on or why they're separated or anything like that. That's all I'm going to say to you, because the rest of it's a spoiler. But there's a certain reason why they've been separated, and usually I hate it when our love interests are separated. Iron Flame is a perfect example of this. I loved Fourth Wing, 5 stars. It was my favourite book of last year, and I haven't finished Iron Flame. I'm halfway through and I can't get through it because our love interests have been separated, and I don't like it. So usually I hate it. Not minding it in this one for reasons that I'm not going to tell you, but I'm really having a good time with this. So currently up to part 2. and I'm going to continue on. I'm intrigued to see whether or not I can finish this today before Randy gets home from work. I'm not sure if I will. I think I've got about 4 hours 20 minutes left on the audio, but we'll see whether or not I manage it and see what happens. If not, I will be very, very close and I'll be able to finish it tomorrow morning. I also did an Instagram poll for, because one of the prompts is a poll pick. I did an Instagram poll for which manga series should I continue on with, and it was between Blood on the Tracks and Solo Leveling, and so far it's very, very close. It's like almost neck and neck. I haven't looked at it for a little bit, but oh, Blood on the Tracks was winning, and it's now Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling 42 votes, Blood on the Tracks 36. It's very, very close. It keeps switching up. So I've taken all of my TBR pictures with Blood on the Tracks. Solo Leveling's now winning. So that's interesting. I'll probably end up doing both anyway, but I'll prioritise whichever one wins. I've just took a screenshot of that so I can show you here. But when it comes to actually picking one up, I'll probably just have another look and see what's actually winning. So that's where I'm up to. I also forgot that we have special edition on the bingo board as well. This I have the Fairy Loot edition for, so I'm just not reading that edition because I have this edition. So that will be my special edition book for that prompt. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with this. Sprints will be starting in 12 minutes. So I'm going to go and get myself ready, and I will check back in with you probably when I finish this. Tuesday, it's 6 p.m. I didn't update you again last night, and I've not updated you until now, today, obviously. I have been at work today, and then I've come home and I've come straight on sprints at 4 o'clock. So I've been here for a couple of hours now, and I've just finished Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. And I really enjoyed this. I think I liked this a smidge more than Divine Rivals. Divine Rivals, I think I gave 4 stars. This one I have given 4.5. It's gotten 4.5 on Corpile. I really liked this. I liked where the story was going. I liked what had happened with Roman, and also, what is her name? I just want to call her Winnow. That is not her name. Iris. Winnow's her last name. Iris. I liked the story. I like where the plot went with this one, which normally when our love interests are split, I don't like it. I think I said this yesterday, but when they're split, I usually don't like it. However, in this one, it didn't bother me too much at all. So I really enjoyed this one. I had a very good time with it. 4.5 stars, and I have now wrapped up that series, this Fairy Loot edition. Stunning. So I'm gonna move on to a book that was not on my TBR. Look at me already fucking up my TBR. First of all, Solo Leveling did actually in fact win the poll yesterday on Instagram, so this will be my poll pick, and I will get up to date with this series. And it turns out that this is actually a good choice because the 9th one, yes, 9th one in the series comes out in August, so I will get up to date throughout the week, and then I'll be ready and waiting for the 9th one to come out. So I'm going to continue on with this one. But yesterday I have been having, you will probably know, since I did the Katie Colson taste test vlog, sorry for the state of my hair by the way, since I did the Katie Colson taste test vlog, I have been obsessed with the Veronica Speedwell series, and I have been desperately since then trying to find somewhere to get the audiobooks because they're only available in the US. Books 1 to 5, including 5, are only available in the US. We can get books 6 to 9 in the UK, but not books 1 to 5. It's very fucking weird, very fucking annoying. So I actually listened to the first book. I have access to a friend's Audible who is in the US, and I actually listened to the first one on her Audible because she already had it. But then I found out that they had the rest of them on the Plus catalogue, so you could get them for free. So I mentioned it to her and I was like, is there any chance you might be able to try and download them for me, see if I can get access to them? So she did, but it didn't show up on then my Audible on this side of the pond. So however, she had some family stuff going on. Her sister's about to have a baby and I really didn't want them either, so I left it. This has been whenever it was that I did the Katie Colson taste test, a month, 2 months, whenever that was. I think it was April maybe, or was it May? Couple months though it's been, and I have been frantically looking for other ways to get these audiobooks, like a VPN to get my own Audible US account. That's not worked. I've applied for a library card in the US. I've gotten the library card to try and get access to Libby. Can't get access to Libby with the library card. It's just been an absolute nightmare. So anyway, yesterday I was checking in with said friend and seeing how things were going with her sister and new nephew and stuff, and I happened to mention it to her. I was like, by the way, you know when I mentioned about the Veronica Speedball books the other week? Well, they didn't show up on my side of things, so I logged out of my account to see if when I logged back in again they would show up. The only problem was I couldn't remember what her email address or password was to log back in, so I asked her if there was any chance she could send them over again so I can see if it's worked. And this was my last Hail Mary. Like at this point it was going to be that I was going to have to physically read these books and I would have no choice. So this is my last Hail Mary. Lo and behold, it fucking worked. And I am buzzing my head off. She's set me up with like my own little collection. She's put them all in there for me. So I've now got books 2 to 5 and I can listen to them. Is it books 2 to 5? 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, books 2 to 5, and now I can listen to those and I can get books 6 to 9 in the UK. So I think it's going to be a case of like binging this series now, just in case, because obviously the Plus catalogue books change, not too regularly, but they do change, so I need to make sure I stay on top of this now, I think. So on that basis, I'm going to be picking up A Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Rayborn, which is book 2 in the Veronica Speedwell series. Book 1 follows Veronica, who is a fan of butterflies. Can't remember what it's called. She studies butterflies. She's a very clever woman, but she studies butterflies. She doesn't follow the norms of women because in this century, because it's set in the late 1800s, so she doesn't follow the norms of women. She's a very strong, independent woman who don't need no man, and she has this very clever job and she loves this job. However, one day she comes home from visiting a very snobby friend and her house is being broken into. She tries to fight off this guy that's broken into her house and she ends up being they try to kidnap her. She then ends up being saved by this mysterious man, who then takes her to this other mysterious man's place and is like, listen, I have somewhere I need to go, but I really need to come back and speak to Miss Speedwell because there is some things that I really need to tell her. I just don't have the time right now. There's somewhere I need to go. Can you just keep your eye on her? And he's like, nah, no, don't bring your shit to my door, please. So turns out the guy is called Stoker, and he does inevitably end up keeping his eye on Veronica, but they end up in this problem where the guy who had shit to tell her, who saved her from being kidnapped, ended up dying, and they end up working together. Veronica and Stoker end up working together to try and figure out exactly what's going on and what it is that he needed to tell her. So that was the mystery in the first book. I assume the mystery is going to continue, or there's some other shit going to go down, but I'm very excited. I just loved it. I love Veronica. I just think she's very sassy. She's a very strong female character, and I love that, especially in this day and age. In the late 1800s. I love the way that her and Stoker bicker like an old married couple. It's fantastic and it makes my heart very happy. I love it when people do that. So I'm really excited about continuing on with this series. There is a possibility, I really should get to Kate and Business Casual, but there is a possibility, a strong possibility, I could end up binging some more of these the rest of the week. We'll see what happens. I will keep you posted on that, but We'll see what happens. If I don't binge them the rest of this week, this is the series I will end up binging in August. I can see it happening. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, so I'm going to move on to this one. I don't know what's happening in this one. I don't know if I can tell you what's going to happen in this one or not, because it will follow on, I assume, from the first one. I think it's a little bit of a different mystery. Maybe it's different mysteries for each of the books, but then there's this underlying plot that's going on in the background, maybe. So I'm really excited. So this is what I'm going to dive into next. And then later on this evening, probably when I go to bed tonight, Andy's probably already at that point fallen asleep on the couch, I might read this in bed later. We'll see. But I do want to start this one because I've only got 4 minutes of this sprint left, and then we'll only be doing one more sprint. I'm absolutely shattered. Yesterday obviously was a very long day. I was up at 5 o'clock. I was working from 10 to 6, and then I finished work. I did the last sprint at about 7 o'clock last night. So I did like a 13-hour day yesterday. So it was very, very tired. And then today I've gone to work again, and then I've come home and done sprints straight away. So again, it's not been as long a day. It will be about a 10.5, 11-hour day. So 2 very long days. Tomorrow we'll be up again very, very early. Our new bed is coming between 8:15 and 10:15 in the morning, and we will need to take down the current bed, which we can't do till tomorrow because I need to sleep in it tonight. Obviously Andy's sleeping on the couch at the moment. So much going on. I may suggest, I'm going to see how he's feeling when he gets in from work, but I may suggest to Andy that we take the bed frame down tonight and I'll just sleep on the mattress tomorrow to save us having to get up too early in the morning. But he may just say, no, just leave it. We'll do it all in the morning. So we'll see. But I'm going to go because I've got 3.5 minutes left. Oh, I'm also currently playing Monopoly as well on my Switch. So having a great time playing this whilst I was listening to Divine Rivals. I may, just for the time being, get into this and then I can multitask. But yeah, so that is what's happening. I've already deviated off my TBR. I predicted this would happen. But now that I've managed to get the audiobooks, I'm not going to sit around and fuck about with that. I've been begging for the audiobooks for this since I finished A Curious Beginning. So I'm going to get on with this.
Just where he was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. Swallows will be here by dawn. When we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt.
Alright, it is Friday. I haven't spoken to you in a couple of days. It's been a really busy couple of days. Wednesday the bed came. I haven't shown it you yet and I need to do so. I will do that in the next clip. But the bed came on Wednesday. We spent the morning building that, and then the whole day just went really, really slow the rest of the day. I think we were both in anticipation of wanting to go to bed and try the new bed out. So Wednesday was pretty chill. I didn't get much in the way of reading done at all. Yesterday, Thursday, I went to work. Andy went to go and see his dad with his niece. So I went to work and I have to do a drawing, a floor plan, which was my old job. I used to be an architectural technologist. If you didn't know, I used to work in construction. and I hated it. So I do it on occasion for my dad, but because I work for him part-time, but he needed a floor plan doing of his new home. So we went to measure up, me and my brother, yesterday, and then I came back in the afternoon because Thomas was home. If I am left to my own devices, I will just play with him all day. So I came back in the afternoon about 2 o'clock-ish, and I got on with drawing that for a couple of hours. And then Andy got back from his dad's and we went out for a couple of drinks. So I did get a little bit of reading done yesterday while I was doing those plans. I was listening to the audiobook of A Perilous Undertaking while I was getting those plans done. And I am now 170 pages in, maybe approximately halfway. So I do intend to finish this off pretty soon. I don't know if I'm going to get it done today. I'm not sure. Obviously today is Friday. Andy's currently out with his mum. They've gone to do a little bit of food shopping. He's nipped to West Orton to go and pick, his fire stick's been not working properly, so while he was out yesterday he dropped it off with the guy who sorted it for him. And he's gone back to pick it up this morning, then said to his mum, if you want to nip up to Middlebrook, I'll run you up to Middlebrook. So can't get him out of that car, honest to God, I cannot get him out of it. So which is, you know, great for him, and I love that for him. So he's going to pick me up on the way back past, and then we're going to go to Tesco. I could have just gone with him this morning, but honestly there was I still needed to do a little bit of work on that plan, and these sneak peek, I've rearranged my shelves. I started it last night. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a while, especially with the giant unhaul that I'm doing as well. So for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months, I have just wanted to purge my shelves, like completely purge them. In all honesty, I've wanted to take the whole lot off, get rid of it all and start again. Financially, obviously that doesn't make sense because I would just end up buying the same books again for the most part. So I've done a really big purge, and during that purge I was like, you know what I really should do? Move my shelves around a little bit, because my reading tastes have changed, my reading habits have changed a lot. So I used to be a primarily fantasy reader, whether that be fantasy romance or high epic fantasy, and that's what I primarily used to be. Things have changed a lot over the last couple of years. I used to read a lot of romance as well, but I read more fantasy than I did romance. I now read more romance, fantasy romance, or romantasy if you want to call it that, thrillers and horror than I do high epic fantasy. For the most part, I am in a slump with high epic fantasy. I was for about 2 years. I came out of it for maybe 6 months, and then The Way of Kings put me back in it. So I'm not reaching for high epic fantasy at all, and I have barely done so for the last 4 years. So my reading tastes have changed significantly, so I've made the decision to do a rearrange, because this shelf used to be fantasy sci-fi only, and that would consist of romantasy, sci-fi in general, high epic fantasy for the most part. Sorry if you can hear that din, somebody's having their roof redone across the road, and all my windows are open because it's hot as fuck. So I've rearranged, because my romance, all of my romance was on one shelf. The bottom and the top were taken up by another. The top was taken up by middle grade, the bottom's taken up by graphic novels. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. That was it. And some of them were doubled up entirely with books that I've read but want to keep. So I've made the decision to move I might give you like a look-see into this. I don't know whether I'll do it this week or because I'll probably end up still fucking around with this for the rest of the week. Today I've just kind of finished it off. I started it last night in a random really weird, I don't even know why I started it. I think I just got sick of seeing these stacks on the floors, and so I started it last night and got really stressed out with it, and Andy was like, come on, let's go and have a beer. So I shut the door on it and just left. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was really stressed. I'd made mess. So while he's been out this morning, I've just sorted it all out. I've rethought it and I've sorted it all out. It's not completely finished. I do need to go through these stacks and get that video filmed so that I can get rid of them, because I'm sick to death of seeing them, and then I can access the rest, because I can't even get to this TBR cart right now. My middle grade is stacked in a corner because there's nowhere for it to go, so I need to find somewhere for that to go. These are middle grade hardbacks because all my paperbacks are on here. So again, I could really do with going through that before I do this unhaul. This is the main thing. I want to film the unhaul, but I wanted to move everything in case I found other shit behind other shit that I wanted to get rid of, which I did. I found like probably another 50 books that I wanted to get rid of. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, so I might do a sneak peek at some point. I don't know if it'll be in this vlog or if it might be at the end of the unhaul, or if it might be in next week's vlog. I'm not sure. I'll keep you posted on that. But you can kind of see what's going on anyway. I don't know if I like it. Last night I hated it. Last night I wanted to Control Z the whole lot and just do undo and go back to how it was, and I was just going to leave it. I don't know if I like it because I'm combining romantasy and romance. Obviously romance usually is very colourful and fluffy and really pretty covers, and romantasy is usually a bit darker, you know, a bit more sullen colours, darker blacks, you know, whites, greys, very darker colours. So I'm not sure if I like it. No, I've mixed them up because I don't know any other way of making these shelves work. A lot of people will suggest to me just combining all the fucking books in the room and doing them alphabetically. That doesn't work for me because you will notice that these are all the same height. For the most part, this isn't true at all, but these are descending in height, and then I do have some higher ones here. I think I might need to swap them, to be honest. These are all the shorter hardbacks, all paperbacks, all one height, all tall hardbacks, This is a little bit messy. This one is also a little bit messy, but in general, for the most part, they're in high order because that's how my brain works. That's how I need it to be. The alphabetical makes total sense, and I would love to do that if I didn't have a taller hardbacks, smaller hardbacks, paperbacks for the same author. Do you know what I mean? And it will fuck with my head, and I don't like it. It's a personal preference. Jade does hers alphabetically, and I fucking love her shelves, and it totally works in there. But for me, I just don't think it will work. Personally, my ADHD, I don't think could cope with the up and down of the books. It would totally cope with the alphabetical. It'd be so much easier to fucking find things, but I don't think it would cope with the up and down of the books. I can't deal with it. So for the time being, I've had to rearrange. My thriller and horror shelves haven't been touched, other than to drag books off that I'm getting rid of, and then shifty things around a little bit so that they're not stacking on top of each other like they were, because I couldn't fit everything on. So I have some room on there. I have a little bit of room on fantasy and sci-fi, but not, to be honest, not a lot. And then as far as romance is concerned, I don't have a great deal of room at all, but it is what it is. This TBR cart that was in the window, I can't use it in the window because everything goes yellow. Sun damage. Guys, beware of your books with the sun damage. This is why I rotate them regularly, because I don't want them to get sun damaged. And this is why I don't have them. Really, this is the Bergman Brothers series. I would love to have the sprayed edges facing out, but I know they will be destroyed by the sun. So I'm hoping that when I get new blinds, it won't be as bad. The sun damage won't be as bad. But I know, and this, I would love to have sprayed edges facing out, but they will be destroyed in a matter of weeks by the sun in this room because it's so bright. So, for example, this is what colour this was in the window for 2 or 3 weeks. That's it. That's all that it was in the window for. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks max. And that is the damage. That's obviously where it's been sat in the TBR cart. That is the damage on that paper. So bad. So I've moved this out the window because I can't fucking use it in the window anymore. So, and I've got to put a bunch of my manga on there. So I need to find a home for that. And I think that is going to go here. And this one may go behind the door, which will restrict my opening with the door, but it is what it is. There's not a lot I can do about it. So it may go behind the door with the middle grade on it, I think. And then the manga trolley can go there with the other manga that is still, yeah, around here somewhere, on the bottom 2 shelves in that corner. Anyway, that was really long-winded. So I would like to get some more reading done. I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to. Oh, that's where I was going with that. So he's going to come pick me up. We're going to do a bit of shopping. And then I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of the day. We got one of those murder mystery case file things. I don't know how to explain what it looks like, but I'll show you later. It's downstairs. We got one of them, and I would love to play with that tonight. I'm finding that I really want to just play board games with him all the time. Now that there's someone else in the house, I'm like, can we play Monopoly? Because I live for playing Monopoly, but I have lived on my own for the last 9 years, and I can't tell you how hard it is to get my family to play Monopoly with me, because obviously it becomes a very long game and they can't be asked. They've got, I mean, my brother and sister-in-law have got 2 kids now, so they don't have the time. But even my dad is hard work these days to get him to play Monopoly with me, and he used to love doing that when I was a kid. So I love to play Monopoly. I very rarely win, but I love to play it, and I have like 3 different versions of it here, and I really want to get the supernatural one. So if I get to a point with me and him where we're playing board games regularly, I will invest in the supernatural one. There's no point if we're not playing it enough. But yeah, I kind of want to do the murder mystery game that we got the other day. It's like a whole ass case file that you can play with, and I think it gives you like 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, I'm not sure. So yeah, I would love to play that this evening, but between then and now, I don't know what the plan is with the day. I don't know if he might want to watch a horror movie or play on his PlayStation for a few hours. I don't know, but if he does, I can get some reading done, which would be great. That would be lovely. So I think I might try and do that. Maybe we'll just go, we spent some time obviously last night together, and then if we play that game this evening, maybe we can spend some time together this evening playing that. So maybe we get some, you know, apart time where we do our own thing. I should have been listening to A Perilous Undertaking while I finished this off this morning, but I'm waiting for him to call me to say he's on his way back and ready to pick me up, because he's just going to pull up outside and pick me up and take me to the supermarket. So however, he is still up at Middlebrook with his mum, so I could have done that. I broke a nail, and I'm devastated. So I snapped it a certain way, making the bed on Wednesday, and then the rest of it has come off today, moving books. So yay for that. But yeah, I just need to get myself sorted in here a little bit. This room is really stressing me out, and I'm a little, it's setting me on edge. I really want to sort this chair out so that I can sit in it, because I would like to admire the room at some point, and then I do really need to film this unhaul. I might try and do that this weekend, just get it done and dusted, I think, and get the books at least on the landing, make a decision about what I'm keeping to sell, and then what I can get rid of to the charity shop maybe, and I can do that next week potentially. So yeah, that is my plan. Loving this so far, having a very great time. And this one, Veronica and Stoker have come across this a ladies only establishment where there has been a murder, and they are trying to solve this murder, but it does tie into what Veronica found out about herself in the first book quite heavily as well. But I'm just having a great time. I just fucking love the way that Veronica flirts with Stoker, so much so that she actually makes him uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable in like a, I don't like this, please don't do this to me, I don't want you to flirt with me, I'm not interested sense, but uncomfortable in a sense that he is very clearly interested and he's trying to keep her at arm's length for whatever reason. So, you know, it just makes him a little bit uncomfortable, and he will still say, he will say things to her like, Veronica, stop flirting with me. Not in like a, you know, I am saying no because I'm not interested, in a, ma'am, please stop, because it's taking all of my energy right now not to just jump your bones, in that kind of sense, you know. So I'm having a great time so far. So excited to be back with these two. I've got like 2 hours and 50 minutes left, and I just would love to sit down, smash the whole thing out. So that's what's going on with that. I also did start solo leveling as well. I've not got too far in. I think I'm like 60 pages in or something. I was up to the next part. I didn't have a bookmark at the time, which is stupid yet there. So I'm like 60 pages in. So I'm going to continue on with this as well. My battery is now flashing, so I'm going to go. But I just wanted to update you, give you that really long update on what the fuck I've been doing in this room. And I'll check back in with you in another update for you. Okay, so here is the bed. So fucking big. Look at the size of this mattress. This is the bed. We currently have wolf bedding on it. That's just my cushion underneath that I put in between my legs. I don't like my legs sticking together. And that's Cuddles just hanging out on the bed. But this bed is so large. It's a king size. And this headboard is so thick because we have like these sofa cushions on it. They're velcroed so we can lift them, pull them off and lift them up. And I'm obsessed with it. The headboard was what sold it to me, but this bed has left us with not much room at the end of it, and it's reduced my plans. I was going to get like a big floor length mirror here and put my little cart thing that holds all of my stuff here, but I'm just not going to have the room to get past if I do that. I might still be able to get the mirror, but that's the limit. But yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. And I've got my very expensive Tempura pillow as well. But I'm obsessed. It's very, very comfortable and I love it, and it's so nice to be able to just, very simple thing, but share the bed with my partner again. Do you know what I mean? It's a really simple thing, but I've just missed it a lot. It's been weeks. So yeah, I love it. I am obsessed. Howdy, it is Saturday and it is about 1:30 in the afternoon, I think. I've been getting some reading done this morning and some odd bits, and I have a couple of updates for you. I do, however, have a couple of bits to unhaul first. To haul. That's because I've got a giant pile of unhaul in front of me, that's why. So this is from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves. And I'm very excited about this one. This is in collaboration with Jan, and I got a book sleeve. This is where I get all my book sleeves from. Got a book sleeve and a bookmark. So this is the book sleeve. How goddamn pretty is that? I am obsessed. And then the bookmark, it works like this. I don't know if it'll work as well on this because the pages are a bit thin, but like so. How cute is that? I have a couple of these. How cute is that? But I am obsessed. So these are in collaboration with Jan. I will leave a link to Happy Go Lovely Sleeves in the description box down below. Then I do have the Fairy Loot adult box, which this month is Living Legends. This is really pretty. The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song. Very pretty indeed. Never Trust a Dragon. Stunning edges. Pretty. It is Mulan inspired, I believe. Stunning. Very nice. And then a reversible dust jacket as well. I think this is like the original cover. Very pretty indeed. I don't know if the other side is different. Stunning. An epic fantasy retelling of Mulan, perfect for fans of the Poppy War and Six Crimson Cranes. Really liked the Poppy War and I haven't read Six Crimson Cranes yet, so interesting. Very pretty indeed. And then we have the Evernight box, in which I thought I'd skip this box because although I'm hearing nothing but fantastic things about this book, can anyone guess what it is yet if you didn't already know? I don't know if it's going to be up my street. I'm not really into body horror and things like that. Well, I don't know how into body horror I am, but I don't think I'm going to be into it. I think it's going to freak me out. So I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I have heard good things. So I'm intrigued to see what the book itself looks like. Oh, Jesus Christ. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. I don't know if I prefer this or the US cover. The UK one's a bit crap, but Jesus fucking Christ. The sprayed edges. A decision was made here. Don't get me wrong, it looks great. I honestly, if anything's gonna really freak me out, it's eyes. I do not like them. Oh, that's disgusting. I mean, it's doing its job, I suppose. Right. Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd skip this one. Signed by Monica Kim. I've heard incredible things, so I'm intrigued to give it a read. It's not that I don't think I'm not gonna enjoy it. It's got really short chapters though. Boy Parts meets My Sister's Serial Killer in this feminist psychological horror is crawling under readers' skin. Brilliantly inventive, subversive novel about a young woman unravelling. Monica Kim's The Eyes Are the Best Part is a story of a family falling apart and trying to find their way back to each other, making a bold new voice in horror that will leave readers mesmerised and craving more. It's doing its job, I'll give it that, honestly. Do I love it? I'm not 100% sure I do, but it's doing its job, okay? Its job is to freak me out and it's working, so I cannot complain. But yeah, that's the little haul that I just wanted to show you. So, as far as reading is concerned, I've finished 2 books. This morning I did finish Solo Leveling at volume 6 and I've given this one 4 stars. Still really enjoying this story. I feel like it's taken a direction I kind of was expecting, but I'd forgotten about because it's been a while since I picked up volume 5, so I've kind of forgotten about it and I'm not loving the direction it's going in, albeit now I'm back in the story I am enjoying it a little bit more again. So I think then I have moved straight on to Solo Leveling at volume 7 and I am currently on page 75, so I'm hoping to finish this today as well. We'll see. And then I've only got volume 8 left as far as Solo Leveling is concerned. I believe volume 9 comes out in August, so I'll be up to date, which is what I was looking to do. And then I've just finished A Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Raybourn. My first 5-star read for a novel in well over 2 months, and I'm absolutely buzzing. Of course it's gonna be Veronica Speedwell. I really enjoyed this one. We were following Veronica and Stoker on a mystery this time in which somebody has been killed, which is tied into a Curiosity Club, the Curiosity Club, a ladies only establishment for daring and intrepid women. And they're trying to solve it. It does tie into exactly what Veronica found out in the first book, and then by the end of this book we find something out about Stoker as well, which I wasn't anticipating either. But I just love the way this relationship is going, the way that they are so self-aware of the fact that they bicker like an old married couple as well, and just the way that they get on. I just love it. I'm really excited to continue on with this series. I do hope that we inevitably get a romance out of this. I know it's going to be very slow burn. I don't anticipate that it's going to be in any of the upcoming, you know, 2 or 3 books, the next 2 or 3 books that I read, but I hope inevitably we end up with a relationship between these two, because I just love the way Veronica pushes Stoker's buttons. I think it's brilliant. And yeah, they're definitely getting closer and have really good respect for each other, mutual respect for each other, and I just love it. I'm having such a good time. So 5 stars for A Perilous Undertaking. Katie, yet again, this is all your fault, my love. Thank you very much. So I am going to obviously continue on with Solo Leveling volume 7 for the rest of the day, and I think I'm going to go into The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. I'm feeling a mystery thriller. I kind of really wanted a thriller more so than a mystery, but the only thriller that I have that's part of a series, I think, is The Sanatorium by Sarah Peirce, and that's starting a new series. So I did just buy The Wild, which is it called Into Wild, The Wild, something wild, the 3rd one in that series. I don't have The Retreat, but I do have the audiobook from the library at the moment, so I was debating going into that, but I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. Maybe I put them to a vote again. Maybe I put them to a vote and let people decide for me. So maybe I'll do that. Let me pull it down so I can show you which book I'm on about. This one, The Sanatorium, versus The Housemaid's Secret. Maybe I'll put these to a vote on the sprints. There's 5 minutes left, so I think I'll do that, and I will let you know what I'm picking up in the next sprint. It's Sunday and it's the last day of Final Book Support Group. I finally got some merch on. I have a bit of an update for you on my reading, so that's exciting. Yesterday I did decide to pick up The Sanatorium. Actually, I didn't. The people in the sprints did. They chose The Sanatorium for me over The Housemaid's Secret. I didn't come back and tell you what this is about, and I've read it. I finished it all last night. This is following Detective Ellen Warner, who at the moment is off work on leave. She gets an unexpected invitation from her estranged brother to his engagement do at this sanatorium that's now been turned into a hotel. So she decides to go with her partner, Will. I'm fairly certain Will is her partner, Isaac is her brother, yeah. So she goes with her partner, Will. It's in the Swiss Alps, and they go to this sanatorium, and things are a little bit weird initially between Ellen and Isaac. Something has happened in their past that she wants to get to the bottom of, and that is the main reason why she's gotten to this. She hasn't been very honest with Will about that though. So he thinks that she's there to try and make amends with her brother. He's offered an olive branch. She's decided to go. They're going to make an amends. She's got a conversation she wants to have with Isaac. So they go to this sanatorium, to the Swiss Alps, and all of a sudden, Laurie, Isaac's partner, fiance, who's the whole engagement do is for, goes missing. And then a dead body turns up. And Ellen goes straight into detective mode. She's got a lot of shit going on as well. Her mental health is not right. She's all over the place, which explains why she's off sick, plus a number of other reasons as well. But she then goes straight into detective mode and has to try and figure out what's going on. The local police can't get to the sanatorium. There is a horrendous storm that has come and shut down the roads, and they can't get to the sanatorium. So she's a little bit in contact with them. He's the detective over there is like, okay, look, I'll allow you to do this and this, but don't take it any further than that. And then it all gets very, very sinister. And it's really good. I really liked this. I loved the isolated setting of this. I thought it was really good with the sanatorium and everything. And it opened up with a scene where somebody else 5 years prior was being killed. And then that mystery gets solved as well as the book goes on as well. So I really enjoyed this. It turns out that there is a couple of other sinister things going on with this as well. With one of the other characters, with something that's happened that kind of snowballs this entire thing. The sanatorium as a whole and its history is quite dark as well, and I just thought it was very, very good. I thought there were a number of different moving parts with this that all came together very, very well. I really liked the writing style. I loved the isolated setting. This would be perfect for Winterween. A perfect story for Winterween. Absolutely phenomenal. And perfect for reading around winter time. If you're into your winter thrillers, this is fabulous for that. And it's such a quick read. I smashed this whole book out in less than 5 hours yesterday. If you take out all of the breaks that I did because of sprints, and then because Andy came home and we had tea and we watched a movie, if you take all of those sprints out, I smashed this out in a total of 5 hours yesterday. I just absolutely nailed this book and it was so good. Quite addictive. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was very, very good. And I'm very excited to continue on. I've just bought The Retreat on my Kindle because although they're really good, I don't think they're the type of books that I would go back to and reread again. So they're not the type of books that will have a long shelf life on my shelf specifically. For space reasons, I can't keep everything I love, so which is a shame because I got the really pretty Waterstones edition as well, and I've just bought The Wilds, which is the third in the Detective Ellen Warner series. I will also say as well, I don't think there's anywhere that says you need to read these in order, but because the Sanatorium, The Retreat, and then The Wilds, they're Detective Ellen stories, but they don't, because she's actually kind of retired, they don't feel like your general detective story, if that makes any sense. So I really liked it. It was almost a little bit like a sleuthing mystery, if you like, but it wasn't, because she is actually a detective and she knows what she's doing. But because she's unreliable She's got a lot going on mentally. She's unreliable and she is off work sick at the moment. I don't know, it kind of throws that into the mix a little bit, and it was very good. But I don't think there's anywhere that specifically says that you need to read these in a certain order. However, I would recommend doing so. I know that in the Wilds has just come out, and I know a lot of people are going to be reaching that probably. It looks more like a summery thriller read. So for right now, I think a lot of people are going to be reaching for that. But I would recommend starting here because there is something that's going on from Ellen and Isaac's past that gets resolved in this book, and I'm really glad I didn't just go into reading The Wild straight away, because I feel like I would have missed some really good context into Ellen and what's going on with her. I feel like her entire story will continue, obviously, with the books, because she is the main character in the books essentially. So I'm glad that I did that and read this one first. I would recommend doing that. I obviously haven't read The Retreat in the Wild yet, so I don't know how effective that is with the rest of the books, but from what we learn and what we glean from Ellen within this, it's important, I reckon, to read this one first. So 4.5 stars for this. Very, very good indeed. Then I did finish Solo Leveling Volume 7 just now, this morning, and I gave this one 4.5 stars as well. There weren't as many words in this one, which I quite liked. Sometimes I do like the ones where there's more action on the page and less words, if that makes sense. I feel like it brings the story together. And I did mention as well that in the last volume, Volume 6, I felt like the plot was taking a turn that I wasn't fully expecting, and I think I'd forgotten because it had been so long since I picked up Volume 5, and I wasn't enjoying it as much until towards the end of the volume. So in this one now, because I've gone straight into it and I know what the plot is and where it's going and stuff, I enjoyed this one a little bit more. I did give this one 4.5 stars. Jin Woo is just getting stronger and stronger, and I'm a little bit obsessed with him. So yeah, I'm intrigued. There are a lot of characters in here though. But I'm very intrigued and I'm having a really good time so far. So my port of call for today, last night went to bed after I finished the sanatorium. Last night I went to bed. Andy fell asleep on the couch and I couldn't get him to wake up, so I left him there. So I went to bed and I decided to start Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is completely out of left field. I told you I was going to be doing Kate by Tate James, the 4th and final book in the Madison Kate series, which I could really do with getting to. However, I feel really guilty about having an arc for this and I've not read it. So I've decided to prioritise this one because I've got the arc. The book has now come out. I've received my special editions from Afterlight and everything. So I'm feeling guilty about it, and I would like to get this read within the month that it came out. I would feel a little bit better about that if I at least managed that. So I'm now 49 pages in. We're following Charlie and Nova. So Nova is one of Beckett's sisters. Beckett was the character in the second book, In the Weeds, which I really enjoyed. So Beckett's got a few sisters. We've also got Harper, who's been mentioned in here, and also, what's the other sister called who Nova was looking after? Vanessa. I don't know how many sisters Beckett's got, but I was like, what's going on here? How many has he got? So Nova, Nessa, and Harper, who we've met so far in the beginning of this book. We're at Stella and Luca's wedding from book 1, Love Light Farms. So we're at their wedding. Beckett and Evie have been mentioned already in here, because obviously Beckett will be mentioned, he's Nova's brother. And obviously the two from the previous book that I've just read were also mentioned in here, because everyone was at the wedding. Layla and I've forgotten his name. Whatever his name is. So we're following Nova, and we're also following Charlie Milford, who is Stella's brother, half-brother. So he ended up being, you know, like the main person for her at that wedding, obviously, other than Luca, who she was marrying. He walked her down the aisle. He's gone above and beyond with gifts and treating her on her special day, blah, blah, blah. Charlie is a sweetheart, to be honest. A little bit mental, but he's a sweetheart. And we start off with, it turns out Nova and Charlie know each other quite well. Nova is opening a tattoo studio within Inglewild, and she's very excited about it, but Charlie's been helping her with her financial side of things. He works in the city as a finance guy, and he's been helping her with her financial side of things. They get on, they're relatively good friends. Charlie will regularly flirt with her, but Nova's told him she's not interested. So he never takes it too far, but he just flirts with her, good banter, blah, blah, blah. So they have this little relationship going on, but she's you know, she's had a little bit of a tipple, she fancies a bit of a dance. Charlie's got her up on the dance floor and she's like, you know what, I really could do with, I've got needs and I could do with sorting myself out. So she proposes to him that he comes home with her, and he doesn't take this seriously. He's like, what, of course I want you home, what do you mean? And he starts chuckling and she's like, no, what does it mean when a woman says I want you to come home with me? And he doesn't think she's serious, and then he realizes that she is, and that she's embarrassed because he thought she was taking the piss and she wasn't. So he's like, listen, I want you to ask me again, I'm sorry for laughing, I didn't think you were serious. Whenever I've come on to you before, you've always shut me down, I thought you were joking. You're gonna ask me again. So anyway, they leave it at that. She ends up having to take Nessa home because she's smashed. And it's really funny. Now we've ended up with a situation, because she's had to sneak out of the wedding and take her sister home so that the parents don't see. She left her phone and her bag behind and everything, and Becky is going and giving her phone to Charlie. So Charlie now has her phone. That's where I'm up to. Basically, neither of them would need distractions at the moment, and I think this is going to start off as like a no strings attached arrangement that will go into something more, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. I think this one will rival Love Like Farms for me, I reckon. Love Like Farms got 5 stars, In the Weeds got 4.5, I think, and then Mixed Signals got 3.5. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't go down again. I'm really expecting immaculate vibes as far as autumn is concerned, and I'm really expecting great banter between these two, which we've already had, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm 49 pages into this, and I'm also going to read volume 8 of Solo Leveling today. This is my plan for today. I'm hoping that I can achieve this before Andy gets home. It is currently 20 past 10, so I've got sprints starting at 12. I'm tempted to listen to a good chunk of this before then, and then maybe spend the first couple of sprints reading this and then get back into this. I'm not sure, we'll see. But that is my plan for today. This will get me up to date with Solo Leveling until volume 9 comes out in August. This will wrap up the Love Like Farms series for me, so that will wrap up another series. I have started a series with the Sanatorium, the Ellen Warner series, so I'll feel a bit better about that if I can wrap up another series. So yeah, it's not Kate, but I am wrapping up another series, and one that I think I should prioritise on the basis that I did have an arc for it. So yeah, very excited. This is my plan for today.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when...
Okay, good morning. It is Monday morning and I'm here to wrap this vlog up. I managed to read quite a bit this week, actually. More than I thought I did. The other day I managed to read a lot and I'm pretty impressed with myself. I have gotten up to date with 2 manga series. I have done a continuation station on 1 series. I've completed 2 more series, so I've done 2 final books, and I've started a series, which I'm fine with because I finished 2 series and got up to date with, well, not up to date, got up to date with 2 manga series and continued another series. So let's very quickly run through exactly what I read. I'll let you know my ratings and then my final thoughts on Business Casual. So I did read Cat Gamer volumes 4 and 5. I really love this series, it's so cute. Both of these got 5 stars and I'm very excited for Cat Gamer volume 6. Then I did wrap up this series with Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I enjoyed this one more than the first one, which seems to be a running thing with Rebecca Ross because the same thing happened with the other series that she's done. I forgot what it's called. Elements of Cadence Duology, River Enchanted and Fire Endless. I prefer Fire Endless over River Enchanted. This one, really enjoyed this one. You know what, it's got similar elements as well, where the love interest have been split up in the second book. Interesting, because I usually hate that. but in these books it really worked. This one got 4.5 stars, 4.5 stars, 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. Then I did read Solo Leveling volume 6. I think I gave this one 4 stars. It was good. I do have, there are always going to be filler manga or manhwa or graphic novels in any series, especially a series as long as this one. So on occasion it happens, but I still really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I made the decision as well. Well, you guys made it for me. I was just going to read 1 volume, but I'm really glad that I've decided to catch up with where I'm up to with what I own, because the 9th one does come out in August, and I actually binging them meant I enjoyed the story more than I do when I just pick them up sporadically at random points in the year. So I'm glad I did that. So 4, I think, stars for that one. Then I did read A Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Raybon, the 2nd book in the Veronica Speedwell series. My first novel 5-star read in 2 months, and I'm so excited. I'm really excited that I can continue on this series now with the audiobook. Shout out to Amber for her assistance with that. I fucking adore you. Thank you so much. I adore you anyway, but that was an added bonus. Thank you. So yeah, very excited to continue on with this series. And then Solo Leveling volume 7, again maybe like a 4.5 star for this one. This was really good and I had a good time. I read The Sanatorium by Sarah Peirce. This seems really random and out of left field. It starts a detective story, so Detective Ellen Warner, which sometimes, you know, you can read these out of order, but I'm glad that I've read this one first because I've already said this, but sorry, someone's having the roof redone across the road. I've already said this, but there is a story going on in the background with our main character that starts off in this book, so I'm glad that I've read them in order, but it seems really left field. I've had this on my shelves for a while now, and well, I've had this on my shelves since it came out because the Waterstone special edition one, so obviously good indicator. 2021, I haven't read it yet. The Retreat has since come out, and then The Wild has just been released, and I've picked that up. So I now have the Retreat audiobook from the library, and I did get it on Kindle as well instead of buying a copy, because this is the sort of series that I wouldn't necessarily keep the books for after once I've finished them. But I really enjoyed this one, and I did give it 4 stars. Then I did read volume 8 of Solo Leveling. I don't think I came and gave you an update on this one. I gave this one 5 stars. This was so good. I don't know what it was about it, why it was more like why I enjoyed it more than the previous 2. I think again it's because I'm binging them back to back, so the story is continuing rather than me falling out of the story for a few months and then going back to it again and forgetting what had happened. But also we had more from this character, which I loved. I gave you a few clips, I think, from the whole thing, but I think you say it Hain Cha. I love her, and I would like more of this, please. Jinwoo and Cha. I don't know where that came from, just all of a sudden I had a ship. I was like, oh, okay, here's what we do with this. What do you mean? Can I have more of this, please? Also, Jinwoo in this book, I don't know what happened, but I feel like he showed way more of his vulnerability in this one, and I was here for it. He was 1 minute in one scene, he would be all broody and strong and big-chested and, you know, daddy, and then in the next scene, in the next clip, he would be all cinnamon bun roll and just cute and cozy and golden retriever, and it was just adorable, and I'm obsessed with him. So 5 stars for this one. Very excited for volume 9. And then last but by no means least, we have Business Casual by BK Borison. I was so nervous going into this. I gave Love Light Farms 5 stars. In the Weeds 4.5, Mixed Signals 3.5, and I was so nervous that this was going to tail off at the end. Holy shit, I loved this book. It was so good. It did so much more than I anticipated it was going to. I already knew that I was going to love the autumnal vibes in Inglewild anyway, so although the first book, although in general it's kind of set at a Christmas tree farm, it's not. It's set in Inglewild. The first one is obviously set on this Christmas tree farm in Inglewild, but it's more to do with the town than the actual farm itself. So I loved the vibes for this. They were talking about Harvest Festival and pumpkins, and the vibes were just immaculate, and really, really, really wanted to bring autumn home for me, despite the fact that the summer has decided to show its face again today, and I'm not best pleased about the situation. I know I sound really grumpy. I do love the sun, but I prefer to be on holiday and it be 25 degrees, you know, than be at home and it be 25 degrees. The heat is different in the UK. Our buildings are not built to have this kind of heat. Our buildings are built to keep the cold out and the heat in. And that is a problem. So anyway, this adorable Nova is Beckett's sister, and I really enjoyed Beckett's story from In the Wild, so, and I loved his character as well from book 1, to be perfectly honest. I loved his character. Charlie is Stella's brother, half brother, and I fucking love both of them, but Charlie was the hero in this book for me. I just adored him. It turns out that there is a lot of rep in here. There is chronic illness rep with migraines with Nova, there is anxiety rep with the pair of them, and there is ADHD rep with Charlie. And I don't think I've ever related to a male main character more in my life. Everything that Charlie is going through, he's got like issues with his dad, basically feeling like his dad will forever be disappointed in him, kind of want more for him but also want for him not to achieve those things just so that he can be disappointed in him. Charlie's convinced his dad hates him, and there's a lot going on in the background with that. But on top of that, also with the ADHD, it was another excuse for his dad to kind of hate him, and his dad was the sort of person that if he could throw money at it and fix it, then that's what he would have done, but he couldn't. So just little things like that, but also the ADHD representation here, very, very good. I highlighted so many things. I ended up I got to a point where there was like a quote and I was like, I need a tab for that, and then I kind of went back through and tabbed up a bunch of stuff that I remember seeing. So I heavily tabbed this was incredible and I absolutely loved it. And then Nova as well on top of that, just the conversations that these two have, they're so mature and I just love it. It's very, the thing that bothered me about Mixed Signals was the miscommunication between the two of them. It really bugged me. This one, no miscommunication. These two will have a thought, the other one will see it on that person's face, and they will push and push and push until that person tells them exactly what they're thinking, and then they will deal with it like adults. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So even when there was the risk that the other person wouldn't feel the same way and it could end everything, because they were literally, the whole point was that they were going to sleep together, get it out of their system, and that was it, be a one night thing. It didn't work out that way. Then it was a case of Nova saying, okay, well, I want to continue this, but I still don't want a relationship, and Charlie's like, I'm down, let's do it. And then obviously feelings got involved and it became something more. So even every single time one of them was like, I want things to change with this for the better, but I'm not convinced the other person does, they still communicated, and I loved that. I loved that they communicated like adults. There weren't arguments, there was no third act breakup in this book, and I loved it. And the way that each of them dealt with the other's insecurities and mental health in this, even there was like a whole, you know, Charlie looked after Nova because she had a migraine situation, adorable. I was obsessed with this. I feel like this book broke me but healed a little part of me at the same time, and I fucking loved it. It's definitely going to be up there, I reckon, well, in my top 10 for sure, but I even think maybe my top 5. I know I've said that with a few books this year, but obviously things are going to shuffle. So what is that din? What are they doing? So yeah, fucking love this. Didn't expect to love it as much as I did. This was incredible and I am obsessed with these characters, and this is one that I will definitely come back and revisit regularly. I think potentially every fall I will come back and definitely revisit this one. I am tempted to go back and read In the Weeds again. I mean, In the Weeds got a 4.5 rating, so, which isn't bad. Mixed Signals got a 3.5, also not bad. But maybe I was in like that really, it was last week in that really chaotic, messy headspace where I was in and out of books and I couldn't settle. So I feel like I need to give that book another chance, we'll see. But I loved this one at 5 stars, and overall I had a fantastic reading week. And I just can't believe how much I actually managed to get through, to be perfectly honest. Partway through the week I was like, I'm not doing great with this readathon. And I really need to pull something out of the bag here, but it turns out I did pretty good. So I'm really happy. Probably could have finished some more series really. Like, I'm gutted I didn't get to Kate, but I did prioritise business casual and I'm really happy about that. But it is what it is. But chat to me in the comments down below. Did you take part in final book support group? What were your stats at the end? Did you get to wrap up any series, continuation stations, get up to date with anything? I hope you have enjoyed this video and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.